you for asking. And Mauricio, I don't remember your picture. Mauricio, have you changed your profile picture, or have I never had you in class before?
No, I think this is my first class with you.
Okay, perfect. And so Mauricio, where are you from?
I'm from Argentina.
Okay, nice, Argentina. And so welcome to class. Sergey, what about you? Where are you from, Sergey?
I'm from Russia.
Okay, perfect, from Russia. Nice. Well, welcome to class. And Jean Bernard? Sorry,
Jean,
hold on.
Jean Bernard. Jean Bernard.
Okay,
It's okay.
Jean Bernard.
Yeah.
Jean Bernard, how are you doing? And welcome to class.
I'm doing very well. I'm doing
Okay,
very well. And
nice.
how about you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking.
Oh,
And
okay.
Jean Bernard, where are you from?
I come from France.
Okay, awesome. So I'm from France. And David, welcome to class as well. David, how's it going?
Hello, nice to see you again. Fine,
Nice to
thank
meet
you.
you.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's cold here in Bogota, but it's okay.
It's what in Bogota?
It's cold, it's very cold. It's going to rain.
It's gonna rain.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually pretty nice here in Costa Rica today. It doesn't look too bad. So yeah, not bad at all.
Okay.
And
Good for you.
so also Alex, welcome to class. Alex, how's it going?
Hello, I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing well. Um, Thank you for asking. And I'm not sure your name, Peaceful? Um, Abdullah. Abdullah, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Nice, perfect. And Abdullah, where are you from?
I am from Saudi Arabia.
Abdullah, I think you cut off. Are you still there?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so where are you from?
I am from Saudi Arabia.
Awesome, Saudi Arabia. Welcome to class. Okay, and so Abdullah, what do you do for fun? What do you like to do in your free time?
Actually, going out with friends
Okay,
and
nice.
maybe using the computer.
Okay, cool. Those are all good things to do. Going out with friends, using the computer.
Playing PlayStation. That's it.
Okay, and Victor, welcome to class. Victor, how are you doing?
Fine, thanks.
Nice. Victor, where are you from?
I'm from Spain.
Okay, nice. Awesome. Well, welcome to class. Okay, and I think that's about it. We've got a full class here, so let's get started on today's lesson. And let's start with Sergey. Sergey, can you read the title in the next couple of lines?
Yep, education. Today we will talk about learning and online education, cultural views of education.
Cool. Cultural.
Culture.
Culture. Oh. One more time. Cultural.
Cultural.
Good. And then when we say education, it's almost got a j sound. So education.
Education. Education. Yeah.
But good. That sounded great. Let's go to the next page. And Sergey, can you ask Griffiths the first question?
Yep. Griffiths, what is your favorite memory from your time in school?
My favorite memory is the party when I graduated from the school.
Okay, nice. So my favorite memory is the party when I graduated from school. We wouldn't, know the, but good. And so why is that your favorite memory? So what happened during that party, Griffiths?
It was an excellent party, and I was very glad because I didn't like learning in school.
Nice. I didn't like learning. from school. Good. That's a good final memory then, I guess. Okay, good. And Griffiths, can you ask Mustafa the next question?
Yes, sure. Did you go to public school or private school? Which type of school is better in your country?
I went to both of them actually. But in high school, the last year in high school, I went to private school actually. Uh, so, which type of school is better in my country? Uh, I don't know, but many the common people prefer the private school.
Okay. Um, Instead of saying the private school, we just say private school. So there's no the.
Oh,
So just private school. Many people prefer private school. Okay, that's a great answer. Really good job, Mustafa. Okay, and Mauricio, what about you? What type of school do you think is better in Spain?
And
Or was it not Spain? Where were you from? Sorry, Mauricio.
Argentina.
Argentina. Okay.
And I went to a public school, and I think that public schools are very popular in Argentina. And I think it's the type of school that most people prefer here.
Nice. Really good answer. Type of school that most. Really good. Okay. And does anybody have any questions on this page? Any questions here? Okay. So if there's no questions, let's go on to the second, or the vocabulary. And Mauricio, can you read the title?
And yes, vocabulary. Define these words or use them in sentences.
Good. And Jean Bernard, can you read the first 4 words?
Okay. Accessibility, alternative, geography, compare.
Okay, good. You're really close. Just the intonation on a couple of those words. Accessible.
Accessible.
Good. Accessible.
Accessible.
Nice. And then alternative.
Alternative.
Good.
Alternative.
And geography.
Geography.
Yeah, geography.
Geography.
Nice. Good job. Okay, and let's have David. Can you read the next 4 words?
Yeah, compare, graduate, evaluation, structure.
Okay. So, what about the last word?
Okay, the last one is photocopy.
Photocopier. Yeah, and it's a little bit hard to hear you, David. If there's any way you could raise the volume on your microphone, that'd be awesome.
Actually my connection. Well, I am going to be more closer to my mic. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah, maybe evaluation. Can you repeat evaluation, David?
Evaluate.
Okay, good. And it sounds like somebody's got some things going on in the background. So I'm just going to mute. I'm not sure who it is. Oh, it looked like it was you, Victor. So, Victor, if you could just keep your microphone muted when you're not talking. So just keep your microphone muted. Yeah. But thank you. And perfect. Does anybody have any questions about any of these words? Any questions?
How can I use the first one in a sentence?
Accessible. Okay, good. And can anybody use accessible in a sentence?
Well, for example, the education here in Colombia is not very accessible to poor people.
Perfect.
I have a question.
Yeah?
With accessible, In France, private school, it's not very accessible for a lot of people because private school cost a lot of money.
Okay, good. Yeah, that's awesome. That's a great way of using accessible as well. Okay, and any other questions? Any other questions?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so if that's it, okay, I think that should be good. Let's go to the next page then. Let's skip that one. And let's have somebody read this. And Mauricio, can you read? Actually, let's go to Alex. Alex, can you read the comic?
Yes. Test 1. When did the Pilgrims land at Plymouth Rock? 1620. As you can see, I've memorized this utterly useless fact long enough to pass a test question. I now intend to forget it forever. You have tough.
Yeah.
Tough? You have
Taught.
taught me nothing. Taught. You have taught me nothing except how they cynically manipulate the system. Congratulations. They say the satisfaction of teaching makes up for the lousy pay.
Lousy. Can you repeat lousy?
Lousy.
Good. Perfect. And so this is a pretty complicated comic. Abdullah, do you have any ideas? Do you have any ideas as to what it means?
Actually, I didn't see it clearly.
Okay. Yeah, it's kind of a tough one to see. So he answers a test question, and then he says, "As you can see, I've memorized this utterly useless fact long enough to pass a test question. Now I intend to forget it forever. You've taught me nothing except how to cynically manipulate the system. Congratulations." And then they say that the satisfaction of teaching makes up for the lousy pay. Does anybody have an interpretation for what's going on here? What's this comic trying to say?
This story, I think, tries to show the useless education we have.
Okay. Maybe some useless things about the education system that we'd have. Yeah. Yeah. I think that has part of it. Any other ideas or interpretations? Anything else that anybody wants to add? Or does anybody have an... Huh?
I think this is a tricky topic for the student. I think he must memorize the topic to pass a difficult exam.
Okay. Yeah, so he has to memorize something to pass a difficult exam, maybe. Did you have anything else, Jean Bernard?
It's a little bit difficult to read the second part. You thought me nothing.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that?
I can't read the second part.
Yeah. Okay.
of the topic. You
So yeah, it's kind of hard to read.
fuck you. Ah,
You've taught me nothing except how to cynically
you've
manipulate
taught
the
me
system.
nothing except.
Yeah.
Joshua,
Yes.
how do you pronounce tout?
Taught.
You have
Taught. So it's
tout.
like
Taught.
that. T-O-T.
Taught.
Good.
Ah.
Exactly.
Taught. Okay.
To teach.
Okay. Yeah. The past tense of to teach.
Good. Yes.
Good. Okay. And does anybody have any
Um,
questions or other comments on this page?
Joshua, why is utterly?
En fait,
Why is what?
The second line, I have memorized this. Utterly.
Utterly. Utterly. So utterly is completely. Means completely. Okay. So it's just completely useless. Does anybody have any other questions? Any last questions or comments?
Yeah. Why Calvin says that he's trying to forget the day, the topic.
Okay. So he's being asked about something that's kind of arbitrary. So just a date in the past that doesn't really have much to do with much. And so he's saying he memorized it in order to pass the test, and he's just going to forget it. He's not going to remember this thing that he's being tested on because he doesn't think it matters. And so he's saying the memorization was just him being taught how to manipulate the system. So it's like passing doesn't really mean anything. It's just how well you can manage in the system. So that's kind of what he's trying to say. Hopefully that makes sense. Do you kind of understand that explanation, David?
Well, more or less. But I understand that in the second part, Calvin says that, well, he is making a critic for the teaching system, and why maybe the teacher don't put a lot of effort teaching because his salary is bad. No, well, so they don't care about the education.
I think that's part of it, yeah, and also the fact that they're teaching something maybe that they don't want to. It's like not much satisfaction in it. But yeah, I think you're definitely on point, David. Really good explanations. Okay, let's go on to something else. Let's skip that one. We can come back to it. And so let's have Victor. Can you read this paragraph? And can you ask Sergey the first question?
Okay. In the United States and in the rest of the world, people are turning to alternative schools. People are educating themselves online, sending their children to Montessori schools, or opting for private education.
Good. Awesome. Really good pronunciation of Montessori schools. It's just the name of somebody who started a different type of school. I think it's Italian, an Italian woman. But good. And so, Victor, can you ask Sergey the next question?
What do you think about alternative education?
Well, I think it's an interesting idea to teach yourself online, for example. But you should visit a public school because you start teaching you learn something from the people around you, and you communicate with each other. It's better. It's better than just sitting in an online.
Yeah, just sitting online, definitely. So human interaction is really important. That's a great answer, Sergey. And Griffiths, do you agree or do you disagree?
I agree.
You
I
I'm
share
totally.
your idea.
okay? So I share Sergey's ideas. Okay, and so Sergey, can you ask Griffiths the next question?
Yep. Griffiths, do you think that online education is a good option for young students?
Yes, I think so, because young people often use their mobile phones and gadgets for education, and why not? It's very useful, and you shouldn't uh, you shouldn't go to school, for example, and you can sit home and learning.
Okay. Instead of saying you shouldn't go to school, you don't have to go
You
to
don't have,
school.
yeah.
Sit at home and learn. Good. And you said mobile, which is good. It's more of the British pronunciation. So in the United States, would say mobile.
Mobile.
Yeah, and in Great Britain, England, they'd say mobile. Mobile phone. But good. So just one of those things. You can say really anything you want. Just depends on what you want to sound like. Griffiths, can you ask Mustafa the next question?
Yeah. Do you know any other types of alternative education?
I don't know any other type of alternative education. Yeah. Actually, I heard about online education and this private and public only. I don't have idea about any other type of alternative education.
Okay. Okay, good. That's fine. And does anybody else have any other types of alternative education that they know about? Does anybody else know about any?
Yes, there is the individual education, like in old times when people hired um, an instructor or a teacher.
So maybe like private tutoring?
Sorry?
Are you talking about like private tutoring?
Yes, yes, private tutoring. Yes. Private.
Okay, yeah,
This is
definitely. That's a good one.
Yes, but the problem in this kind of education is that the child doesn't interact with other children. So it's this kind of education is good, but needs another sources of education around it.
Okay.
It's good mixing. It's good mixing the methodologies.
Yeah, it's good to mix the methodologies.
Yes, it's good.
Nice. Yeah, really good. Good answer. Okay, and does anybody have any questions on this page? Any questions?
Yes, please. I have a question. Does alternative schools means online studying?
Yeah, an alternative school could be studying online. I think there are even colleges, and there are other like courses like Coursera. I think a number of different things online where you can use to educate yourself. Those would all be types of alternative education. Maybe not an alternative school. Some of them are. Some of them are just different alternative ways to educate yourself. But yeah, definitely. Any other questions?
Yeah, Joshua. Well, for example, do you consider empirical knowledge like kind of education, or is different?
Empirical knowledge?
Yeah, from the experience.
Yeah. No, I think that's definitely. I think learning by doing. So
Yeah,
that
learning
might
by
be.
experience, by repeatedly actions.
Yeah. So like kind of just repeating actions. Apprenticeship could be a type of alternative education.
Yeah, maybe. What is my question?
I think is that what you're talking about? Like when you're apprentice to somebody, you just kind of learn by doing work.
Yeah, maybe when you get your first job and you didn't know do anything, and for example, the person that hired you teach you everything, and you learn
Yeah.
about the experience.
I think that's definitely a type of alternative education. And I do think that's called apprenticeship. Um,
Can
More or
you
less, depending on the job. We'd probably apprentice more like physical labor jobs, like being a mechanic or something along those lines. But definitely, that's definitely a good point. Okay,
could
any
you
other
type it, the
questions?
word? Could you type it? Sorry, the word.
What was that?
Apprentice. Could you type it?
Yeah, it's in the chat box. Um,
Okay,
but
I can see.
think it's spelt like that, apprenticeship. But yeah, and any other questions here? Any other questions? Okay, good. Let's go to the next page, and let's talk about some of these quotations. Let's have Mauricio. Can you read the first quotation?
Yes, education is the kindling of flame, not the filling of a vessel.
Good. Can you repeat education? So remember that j sound at the beginning. Education.
Education.
Close. You're saying it with just that straight D. Education. It's got an edu. Edu.
Ah, okay. Education.
Nice. Education. And then kindling.
Kindling.
Nice. Kindling of a flame, not the filling of a vessel. Good. Does anybody have any questions about any of these words? Any questions about these words or the meaning?
What is kindling?
Okay. What's kindling? Does anybody know what kindling is?
England.
Okay, so to kindle is like to start or to spark. So if you kindle a fire, it's you start the fire, you spark the fire.
Fire.
Um, yeah.
Mhm.
Another word like kindling is a noun. Is the small sticks used to start a fire. So that's different. We're talking about the verb. We're talking about the gerund in this case, the kindling of a flame. It's like the sparking of a flame, not the filling of a vessel. Any other questions about any of these words? Okay. And so, Mauricio, can you ask Jean Bernard the first question?
Yes. What does this quotation mean?
Mm. Mm, 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 I don't have any idea on that. Mm,
Okay.
no.
This is a tough one. Let's open.
Socrates.
Yeah, Socrates. Socrates.
Socrates. Socrates. Socrates. Socrates.
Socrates.
Socrates was an oracle. Was an a philosopher. Yes, philosopher. Philosopher.
Close. It sounds like philosopher.
Philosopher. Philosopher.
Close.
Philosopher.
Phil. Philosopher.
Philosopher.
Good.
Philosopher. Was a philosopher.
Yeah, he definitely was a philosopher.
Philosopher.
Let's open this question up to everybody. Does anybody know or have an interpretation of this?
I think maybe Socrates say the education is the base to start a good life.
Okay.
Without education, to start in the light will be very, very difficult. Starting a life would be very, very difficult.
Okay. I think that's a good point. That's a good point. Does anybody have anything else they'd like to say about this quotation? Any other interpretations?
Yep, I have one.
Okay.
As far as I understand, it means the learning is easier than it looks like.
Sorry, I'm not sure if I understood that. Can you repeat that?
The learning, the education system, is easier than it looks like. Everyone thinks it's hard work, but it's easier.
Okay, maybe. I think that's maybe part of it. So, the kindling of a flame, not the filling of a vessel. So remember, too, a vessel is like a bowl or something that holds something.
A boat.
Yeah. A boat could be a vessel, something that holds something else. So we could have a bowl, a cup, a boat, really anything. So anything that holds something else.
Yeah.
So the filling of a vessel, it has a finite end. So a vessel can only be filled to a certain limit. So that might help. Does that help? Does that help anybody's interpretation of this quotation? Anybody?
Teacher,
Yeah.
teacher, actually, from my point of view, when I see this, I think he mean it's not education is not only going to school and learn something, but is like open your eyes toward the world. It's not only filling the vessel. So we try to educate to maybe for a better life, to open our eyes toward the world, something like this.
Nice. Another world. I think that's awesome. That's really good. Does anybody have anything to add? Anything that they'd like to add?
I'd like to say, I think the point is, it's quite hard to explain in English. For example, if you fill a vessel, this water, for example, can be in this vessel an age, but if we talk about knowledge, knowledges can't be with us for age. For example, if we learn English and if we don't use it, we will forget it. It can be inside people, for example, for ages. But a flame, it's like a passion. You have always to do something, to learn, to study, to improve your knowledges.
Okay, yeah, you always have to do something to improve your knowledge. Good, I think that's good. So the kindling of a flame, so maybe it's starting something that has no end, so there's always more knowledge out there. Instead of filling a vessel, there's like a finite goal. There's maybe what Calvin was talking about in the comic. It's like the filling of a vessel, just memorizing random facts. instead of like learning how to learn and loving learning and always wanting to learn more. I think that's exactly kind of what a lot of you guys were saying. Really good job. Let's go ahead and read this next quote. And Abdullah, can you read this next quotation?
Okay. Education is the path from cocky ignorance to miserable uncertainty. Uncertainty.
Good. Nice. Uncertainty. Uncertainty. Can you repeat uncertainty?
Uncertainty. Uncertainty.
Uncertainty. Good. And then ignorance.
Ignorance.
Good. Ignorance. Okay. Does anybody have any questions about any of the words on this page? On this quotation?
Does it mean cocky?
So what does cocky mean? Can anybody explain what cocky means?
Envy.
Excuse me?
Envy. ENVY. It's like arrogant.
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 Yeah, definitely. Arrogant,
Arrogant.
overconfident.
Overconfident.
Yeah.
Pretentious.
Yeah, pretentious. Pretentious.
Yes.
Definitely. Yeah, perfect. So it's just somebody who thinks they know more than they do or better than they actually are. Somebody who is overconfident or arrogant. Perfect. Okay.
Arrogant.
Yeah. Any other questions? Any other questions?
Actually, teacher, I have a question about the last word because uncertainty and we
Okay, uncertainty. So it's like the state of not being sure. Uncertain?
Not sure.
Yeah. The state of not being, maybe like not being confident.
Confident.
Um,
Not sure. Mhm.
maybe not confused, but lacking knowledge.
Mhm.
So good. So education is the path from cocky ignorance to miserable uncertainty. What's this mean? Can anybody explain what they think it means?
I think it means that the more you learn, the more the more you ask yourself. So
Okay, good. So the more you learn, the more you ask yourself, maybe the more you doubt yourself, or
yes, at the beginning, an ignorant don't ask himself anything. But if you start to, if you want to learn about the life, about the existence, you start to learn to read, but finally you realize that you have a lot of questions in your head, inside your head, but not many answers. So
yeah, of questions, but not many answers. I think that's awesome. Really great answer. Good grammar as well. Yeah, nice job, Victor. Does anybody else have anything that they'd like to add, or any other comments or questions? Okay. Okay, that was good. Those are some hard quotations. You guys did a really awesome job with your interpretations here. Yeah, that was really good. So if there's no questions, let's go on to the next page, and let's try this role play. And let's have Sergey. Can you play the mother? Can you read the mother's role?
Yep. Well, you want your children to enroll in experimental school. They don't assign grades and they let the students choose what to study. Try to convince your husband that your children should attend this alternative school.
Nice. Good. And let's have Griffiths. Can you play the father?
You don't want your kids to change schools. You think traditional schools are best. Convince your wife that this new school with no curriculum and few rules will be a bad alternative for your kids.
Yeah, sorry, and I actually did misspell curriculum. Can you repeat curriculum?
Curriculum.
Yeah, curriculum. Okay, and can you guys play those roles? Sergey, can you play the mother? And Griffiths, can you play the father?
Who wants to start?
I guess let's have you start, Sergey.
Okay. Let me think for a second. Yeah. Father, first of all, I think our children should go to an experimental school because they can choose whatever they want to study. I guess it's a wonderful idea.
Okay, Griffiths.
Okay. So, mother, look at me. I graduated from a traditional school, and I'm quite smart. I'm a good person. I'm a good man and father, and I think that traditional school is the best way to make our children good people.
But you know, they will spend all their time, I don't know, 11 years in school. But if they go in experimental schools, they have no curriculum and rules, and they can study not fixed time. They can spend a lot of time of doing something interesting and useful.
But I think that school without rules, it will be a bad experience for our children because someone have following and watching our children. Someone have to save them if they are wrong or right. I think that in school without rules, they will be doing anything that they will want.
Nowadays, education must show our children just the basis of education. They must find answers themselves. And experimental school, the best way to do that.
Okay, mother, I think you are right.
Nice. Good job. Is the best way to do that. Really good job. Really good reading. One thing, you already used will. I think it was Griffiths. They will be doing anything that they will want. We just say anything that they want. So they will be doing anything they want.
That was mine, yeah.
Yeah, so just the one will. Really good job. I didn't change too much. I changed a few things, but nothing serious. So really, yeah, really good grammar, both of you guys. Okay, and let's have, well, I think this is good. Does anybody have any questions on this page? Any questions? Okay. Yeah, but that was great. Good job, Sergey. Um, okay, let's talk about this idiom, and let's have Mustafa. Can you read the title and the next parts?
Okay, idiom. A for effort. Example: you weren't quite right with this hypothesis, but I'll give you an A for effort. You Second, you worked on the project all weekend. Even if it's turned out poorly, you should get an A for effort.
Good. Okay, that sounded good. Um, a couple small things. Hypothesis. Hypothesis.
Hypothesis.
Good. And then idiom. Idiom.
Idiom.
Good. Nice work. Okay. And Mustafa, can you ask Mauricio the first question?
Okay, Mauricio, what do you think this idiom mean?
And I think A for effort, and maybe you don't do things right at first, but you put a lot of effort in doing things, and you get rewarded for doing this. I don't know, something like that.
Nice. Really, that's perfect. Put a lot of effort into doing it, so you are rewarded for. Oh my goodness. Um, you're rewarded for doing or for working hard. Exactly. That's a really good job. Okay, and Mauricio, can you ask Jean Bernard the next question?
Okay, Jean Bernard, do you think that effort should be considered when a teacher is grading students' work? Why or why not?
Um, I think a good job um, must be to award by a good grade, rewarded with a good grade. Uh, um, I think it's very important for the student because this effort would be rewarded and rewarded and the student would be more confident later when he will pass exam.
Okay. I think that's good. So I think it's more important. So the idea of an A for effort is when maybe it's not necessarily a good job. So like the work might actually be incorrect or wrong or just different, um, but they still get a good grade for it or a better grade because they put in a lot of effort. So David, what do you think? Do you think that effort should determine somebody's grade? Do you think that effort should determine somebody's grade? Why or why not? David, are you there? Okay, Alex, what about you? Do you think that effort should determine somebody's grade?
Yes, absolutely. If if we are in a sports class and we have two children, and one of the children is very athletic and runs very fast, and the other it's a little fat, but it's not his blame. It's his constitution. And this fat boy likes a lot the sports and put a lot of effort in the activities. I think the two children deserve the same or almost the same grade, the same mark.
Nice.
Because yes, because if you it's not good it's not good comparing. It's not good to compare uh, children. Uh, it's dangerous because if you compare a child who is not very good in sports, but he puts a lot of effort in it, and uh, you don't you don't value his effort, this child is going to be less confident in the future. It's very bad for him.
Yeah, exactly. So if you don't value his effort, he won't be confident in the future, and it's very bad for him. I think that's awesome. That's a really good, a good point. Really good explanation. Perfect. Good corrections too. Your grammar looks very solid, Alex. That wouldn't change too much. Does anybody have any questions or comments that they want to say for this page? Any questions or comments? Okay, let's go back to this comic. And let's have Abdullah, can you read the role of the boy? And Victor, can you read the role of the girl?
Yes.
Okay, hey, sure. Did you have any trouble with our math homework last night?
No, why?
I thought a couple of these near tricky. Can I check any answers with yours?
Okay.
Thanks. What did you get for question 1?
7.
7? Good. That's what I got. What did you get for question 2?
Drop dead, Calvin.
Good. Drop dead, Calvin. Okay, good. Victor, can you ask Sergey the first question?
Uh, what do you think of this comic?
I really like this comic. It shows a typical situation in nowadays in school because it's small amount of children who prepared for lesson, and this Calvin, how can I don't get his name? Calvin, yeah. He not prepared. He just said that I want to check answers with you. Compare my answers.
Yeah, so maybe he's cheating a little bit, for sure. Okay, definitely that's exactly what's happening. Sergey, can you ask Griffiths the next question?
Yep. Griffiths, have you ever done something like this?
Yes, I have done something like this.
Nice. Okay, can you explain?
I had a lot of situation in my school when I wasn't prepared for when I didn't my homework, and I was asking to my classmate, my class, and I asked my classmates to show their homework, and that's all.
Nice. Okay. Maybe ask them to show me their homework.
Yeah.
Yeah, but good. That's awesome. Really great explanation. Good grammar again. You guys were really all impressive today with your answers. So a lot of really good complete sentences, a lot of good grammar. So we're just about out of time. Does anybody have any last questions? Any last questions on this page? Okay. So yeah, like I said, you guys did all a really good job. Feel free to ask any last questions if you do have them, but if not, have a really great day. Hopefully I'll see you guys all again soon, and thanks for the great class.
Thank you, teacher.
Thank you for your class.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
teacher.
you. Bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you,
Bye,
everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.